Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivarata Gopi Jana Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivarata Gopi Jana Sodanandana Prajacharana Sodanandana Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Gopi Jana Gopi Jana Vallabha Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Gopi Jana Vallabha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Yasodanandana Braja Janandana Yasodanandana Braja Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladeva, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Radha Krishna Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vastacha Vesharine Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Salakaya Chakshuruntam Yena Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagadanatam Vitam Sajivam Sarvetam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanu Sudevi Ramani Hariye Vansakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama.
Introducing that you are going to Guru Maharaj. Just one second. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we are fortunate having His Holiness Bhakti Anurag Swami Janardhan Maharaj. He just few days and very hectic schedule. Janardhan Maharaj has been coming here to Washington with Guru Maharaj for at least 25 years that we know. And right now he's residing in Vrindavan for almost 25 years or maybe more.
I was brought there by Guru Maharaj 2002.
And he has served the president of Toronto Temple, and he was initiated by our Guru Maharaj in 1984, correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And he has been traveling. He's one of the closest companion of Guru Maharaj. He has been traveling with Guru Maharaj extensively, at least abroad, Russia and United States. has a lot of blessings. He is also very, very sakshar in all the Vedic literature. He has been also good Kirtanier in Vrindavan Dham, that you might have heard. So let us welcome by saying loud Hari Bol. Hari! Hari Bol!
Yes. So the Guru Maharaj is supposed to have some procedure to be done. Supposed to be last night. Somehow the procedure was postponed and supposed to be done sometime like 27th of this month. And we should pray that if this goes through, that he will be able to recover quicker, sooner as well, so that we'll be able to see him. He wants to come to North America this summer. So we pray for that, even though it is going to be very, very difficult for him, but because he wants to see you. You do not see him, you do not go to see him. It should be the other way around now. Our Guru Maharaj is not getting younger. Soon he'll be 80 years old in a couple of years. Or one more year, because a little bit more than 1 year. And the traveling that he did is quite extensive. The last many, many years, I first became his servant, assistant secretary, 1997, when I moved to India. So how many years is that now?
26. 25, 26.
Yeah, 25, 26. But years, those years that we were traveling just alone. I remember first time I traveled with him, we went to Central Asia, and then we went to Vladivostok, the easterlymost part of Russia. Russia has more time zones than North America. It was so cold. Then we went to Novosibirsk, like Siberia, quite cold. Only the two of us. It is like in the airport, there's a very small airport, there's only a few passengers. And so he took so much austerities and you may say hardships to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. To meet his devotees and to meet new people. But time will come that he may not be able to travel. To see him. I know some of you who have been there a few times for the last 2 years or so, even after COVID, to come and see him. And let's hope that he'll come, but many devotees in India would prefer that he would not travel. It's like Achintya Veda Veda here. We want him to come, but those devotees over there doesn't want him to come here. Both are good, either ways. But I think the other one is better. If you can understand what I'm trying to say. Because the risk is there. So he'll take all the risk just to see you. And hopefully everyone is doing well in their spiritual practice. It's like the father, he is very concerned to his children. Haven't seen for a long time. And this is where the agreement of the spiritual master comes in at the time of initiation, that he will take us back home, back to Godhead, provided that also we follow our part of agreement at the time of initiation to chant minimum 16 rounds every day, attentively, without any offenses. We can chant our rounds the whole day, but still we must chant with loving feeling, not that we do many things while chanting. And also follow the four regulative principles and to chant, to help also others to preach. He's very happy, especially if you spread Krishna consciousness also according to your ability, capacity. And read Srila Prabhupada's books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Yes, so he says that the best medicine for him is that the disciples follow the process and pray. Prayers makes miracles. So every day we should pray for him. Even after he will be able to pass through these difficult times. Yes. So whether he comes or not, we should still be diligent with our practice of Krishna consciousness. And if you can, try to go and visit him. Go to India. I know many of you came many times during the last year or so. And many are planning, I know many are planning to come to see him. Due to some unavoidable circumstance or circumstances, they're not able to come, but they're determined now. Even Guru Maharaj will come or not. Some will go for his Vyasa Puja over there. Because we wish to have his Vyasa Puja here, but I don't think that is very much possible now. It's not possible now. So let's see how it goes. It's very dear, not just to us, but to the entire ISKCON world. ISKCON devotees all over the world. We were talking about that last night, that many of our leaders, they mentioned to him that they have never met any pure devotees besides Prabhupada. He's like the second in a transcendental platform. Him. But that is true. How many devotees in the world can produce or have many programs in spreading Krishna consciousness and still is very humble? He may not go to big festivals, but his festival is every day. Some festivals only a few times in a year, right? But his festival is every day. Where can you find that? He's meeting the big prime ministers, leaders. How many from our movement can do that? And I remember whenever Modi will see him, Modi was so happy to be with Guru Maharaj. How many leaders are like that? To be with devotees. But in any case, we pray that he'll be with us for many more years to come. And so that our movement will be able to become stronger and stronger. These are the remaining, very few are remaining, like really pillars in our movement. You know, after they're gone, who's gonna be next? It's gonna be us. And then after us, who will be? Our children. And after our children, who's gonna be? Their children. So we have to set a very, very strong foundation so that the movement will go on for the next 10,000 years. And it will go on for the next 10,000 years. It's like churning of the ocean. Poison comes out first. Yeah? Between the demons, they had a truce, the demons and the demigods. But poison comes out first. And then it becomes nectar. So we should be part of that prophecy. Hare Krishna. So what I'm going to read is an article that was written in Back to Godhead magazine. Since Rath Yatra is coming up soon in Baltimore, and some of you will come, and some of you may not come, may not be able to come because you're going to Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha is everywhere. It's good. You are hankering for association. It's not socializing. Going there, it's to enrich your Krishna consciousness. So, which is good. It's a good opportunity for you. But this is also summertime. So this is the summer of Lord Jagannath. There'll be many Rath Yatras going to be held practically every week, starting from Baltimore. Then after that, there'll be Panihati in Atlanta, then New York, and so on. So, and Mataji also requested we describe and tell about Lord Jagannath, the Lord of the universe. I remember many years ago, we went there with some devotees from Shira Mayapur. I was a brahmachari, and there is a special darshan during the night, like in the middle of the night, sometimes 10 o'clock, sometimes 12 o'clock. It depends on the mood of Lord Jagannath. So we decided to go in. And I was very hesitant to go because I'm not from India, so to speak. So somehow or other, they encouraged me. They persuaded me, convinced me. And I have to change my clothes because they know that if you're wearing saffron, that means you took Diksha. Either you are from Gaudiya Math or from ISKCON. And usually brahmachari from ISKCON, they have fancy dhoti or always bright. And Gaudiya Math, they have their own collar of saffron. So I changed into white dhoti and this banyan, this shirt, inside shirt. And I also somehow I have to take off my eyeglasses because they can tell my eyeglasses is not from India also. And it's very dark. Nighttime is very dark there. So we entered, and then one panda came in. They know who's a panda. They're regulars, the devotees from Mayapur. And one person, local person, came along with us. And one panda came to me. He started to speak to me. He's like asking me, how are you? What is your gotra? And all these things. And I told him, I don't speak, I don't hear. I don't have to say, if I say one word, immediately they can recognize I'm not. Because if you're not from India and you're not a Hindu, they'll chase you out with a danda. They'll beat you up, practically. How many of you have been to inside Jagannath Temple? Yeah. Have you been there at nighttime? Yeah? Yeah. So when I entered the temple, he let me alone. He let me alone. It's no use, I cannot talk. So I'm serious, very serious. There was a big marketplace for prasadam, big marketplace. The Prabhupada says you can have 10,000 devotees come unannounced and they can be fed easily. And when we enter the temple, there's no lights like this, probably one bulb or something. It's very difficult to see it because it's dark, even to see Lord Jagannath, but I can see. We came closer, and then at the back, we also stayed back. Many devotees, they're reading Shastra with candles. It's very dark. And then at the back, there is the Garuda Stamba, where Lord Jagannath, Garuda's having darshan, where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would stand. And you can see the imprint marking of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hand at the back, melted. That is also the place where there was an old lady who wanted to have darshan of Lord Jagannath. And while Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was near that stamba, the old lady climbed on the shoulder of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to have darshan. And the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was telling the old lady to come down. It's not good. Just imagine that, stepping on the shoulder from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no. I wish I had the same eagerness to see the Lord. That's where we sing, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagani Bhavatani. O Lord of the universe, please let you be visible unto my eyes. So the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri in the last 24 years of his life. Actually, last 18 years, he stayed in Jagannath Puri. More deeper than in Vrindavan in terms of rasa. because Jagannath is a place where the mood of separation that was exhibited by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's none other than Lord Krishna himself, but the mood of that separation he exemplified. For 6 years, he traveled all over India. And then the 18 years, yes, he was there. And Prabhupada says that the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri, when the demigods will go and see, the inhabitants, they are having four-armed forms. It's like Chaturbuj, Vaikuntha. That is so special. The temple was built, the original temple was built long time ago, millions and millions of years ago. But then it's been manifest and unmanifest. It is not of this material world. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived in Jagannath Puri and he had darshan of Lord Jagannath, immediately he fainted, became unconscious. It's like after being separated for a long time, because when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Jagannath, he didn't see Jagannath as a piece of wood. He sees directly that is Krishna. The deities of the Lord are not made of metal, wood, paint, or such things. It says in the Shastra there are 8 kinds or 8 types of deities. Could be made of stone, could be made of sand, could be made of jewels, and it could be also in your mind. Remember that story of the South Indian Brahmana who was offering sweet rice within his mind. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came, he fainted, and everyone was surprised because he was also very effulgent. The bodily luster of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can lit up a dark room. That also when the Mayavadis, sannyasis, invited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and when they saw him, it's like hundreds of suns, the brightness. They were inviting him to come. And he was so humble, and he says that, no, I belong to a low caste of Brahmana. But then later on, he was able to convince them also to become devotees of the Supreme Lord. So he fainted, and the devotees of Lord Jagannath, they were surprised to see a devotee, such a beautiful devotee. And some of the pandas, or the guides, they were going to chase him away because some of them were going there and pretending to be in ecstasy. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he fell unconscious, he doesn't have a pulse because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was there also. And when he saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's effulgence, he can tell he's not an ordinary person. But others, they don't see, they don't realize that he's a great personality. So they were ready to chase him away and throw him out. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, no, no. He took a piece of cotton and then he put it near the nostrils of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you can see there's some fibers moving, practically breathless, no pulse. The beating of the heart is not there, completely stopped. That is one of the symptoms of one who's in love of God. Bhava, there's emotions. So he concluded, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he concluded that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual ecstasy is genuine. And he ordered his servants to bring Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his ashram. So when the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived, they arrived a little bit late. And they've heard that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya brought Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his ashram. He's very famous, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. But he is not a devotee. He is more of a jnani, more also of an impersonalist. Because most of the times the jnanis are impersonalists. When they saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they started to chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That the Lord come into his life. He become conscious. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he saw Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, actually they're like relative in a sense also in his family. They're relatives. So they talk. There was a famous conversation, the Atmarama verse. Atmarama means Atmarama Munayoscha, something like that, is that one who is completely satisfied within himself, Atmaram. It's very, very rare. And Lord Krishna is the supreme Atmaram. So later on, the king also found out that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there. But the king is supposed to be in the world, a worldly man. Unless he is a saintly king, then he will be called as Raja Rishi. So he wanted to have darshan of the Lord, but the Lord refuses. He cannot see him. He doesn't want to associate with a worldly man. But this king is very special. His name is King Prataparudra. He's very special. Every Ratha Yatra, he will be the first person who will sweep the floor, the road. This big road. What do you call that road again? Huh?
Baradanda.
Baradanda. The road?
The road.
No. Yeah?
Road itself, you are saying.
Yeah. Wasn't it?
Grand Road.
Grand Road.
Yeah, Grand Road, but it's Rajmarg they used to call.
Rajmarg.
Yeah.
The King's Road.
Yeah.
Path. Yeah, it's so wide. You will not find any wider road. Because that will be full of devotees of Lord Jagannath, millions practically during Ratha Yatra day. So the king will be the first person who will use the many attempts to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he doesn't want to see him. In a sense, he was like testing the king's determination that he would even send his son, because the son is a representative of the father. If the son will be able to have darshan of the Lord, then it is as good that the king also have met and have darshan of the Lord. So what I'm going to read is that on the Ratha Yatra day, because eventually with the determination of the king, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he understood that he has so much dedication and is surrendered that he sent also like a piece of his cloth to his son. Any of you have read that pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita? Yes? I've read it a long time ago, but I can still recall a little bit. So, now that they started, the time that they started, every year the Ratha Yatra goes. After the Ratha Yatra, they will disassemble this cart, because every year there's a new cart for Lord Jagannath. They don't use the same cart, or the same canopy. Everything is new. And Lord Jagannath has been changed. Somehow, Lord Jagannath is alive. And within the body of this Jagannath, there is the heart, beating heart. And every 12 years, a new Jagannath will be carved. And there are some signs that there are some special, those who will search for the right neem tree, they can see some of the symptoms. They can see there's a snake, and the tree has markings of Lord Vishnu, Chakra, Gada, Shankh, and Padma. And if there's a snake nearby, because that snake is guarding that neem tree so that no one will touch that tree, they will travel all over the place. And once they see the signs, they will take this, they will cut that, and they will make from that tree for Jagannath separate, for Lord Balaram and Lord Subhadra, their sister. So I was just reading the other day that Lord Jagannath's heart is going to be transferred to the next Jagannath. And this is going to be done by a special Brahmana also. No one can see that. That person has to be blindfolded, and also his hand will be wrapped in cloth. And when they transfer, the time of transfer, it'll be blocked out in Puri. No one can see. Because if someone can see, it's like some inauspiciousness will be there. He knows, the one who's going to transfer, he knows where he's going to go. And then he'll be transferred. That means Jagannath is alive because of that heart. So somehow one devotee, because it is also wrapped in cloth, so sometimes they change the cloth. And I have a piece of that cloth. That was given to me. It's on my altar in Vrindavan. I don't know why that devotee gave that to me, and there's one devotee also Because Lord Jagannath wears a special chadar at the time of Ratha Yatra. And somehow he got hold of a piece of that chadar and he gave it to me also. The Lord's mercy is unlimited. It's for everyone. It depends on whether we are ready to accept it. Prabhupada says, it's stuck in my mind because I read this. Every day I read some quote from Srila Prabhupada, Krishna Balaram Mandir. And it is our unfortunate position to not to be ready to accept Lord Krishna's mercy. Lord Krishna's mercy is unlimited. It's for everyone. But our unfortunate position is that we're not ready to accept. What does it mean that we're not ready to accept the mercy? We're not ready to follow the instructions coming from Lord Krishna through the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam or from his pure devotee. We want unlimited mercy, but we have conditions. So it should not be. That is why we're still in the conditioned state. We're not getting his full mercy by not be able to follow 100% the mercy, the Supreme Lord, by following his instructions. So at the time of Akshaya Tritiya, it just passed by, that's also the time during the festival of Chandan Yatra, same day. Chandan Yatra is 21 days. Akshaya Tritiya, many things happen. He says that that is the time also of the creation. That's the time when Ganga flows from the spiritual world, from being pierced by the toe of Lord Vamana to the universe. Anything that you start on that day, Akshaya Tritiya, will become successful, especially, say, constructing a house, anything, whatever you would like to undergo, some projects. Very auspicious, Akshaya Tritiya. That's the time also. And many things happen on that day. That's the time when also the cart of Lord Jagannath will be start to be built. I just saw a picture of the nicely. Now it's like almost done. They show the huge wheels. The wheels is not made of rubber or any materials, metal. It's all wood. And they will build all completely by Ratha Yatra Day, which is on the 12th of
June.
June.
Usually.
June. There is an extra month this year. Purushottam. Okay? In India, we're not allowed to do any Ratha Yatras. They're given us, because the management of Puri, they told you, ISKCON, you do Ratha Yatra even in the middle of winter. How is that?
June 20th.
20? Okay, 20. June 20. So yeah, in Delhi alone, there are 14 temples, so they will do it in the middle of January, you know. So this is, no, this is not proper. Lord Jagannath only goes out certain time of the year. It starts, the first darshan of the Lord will be in Snana Yatra, where everyone can see the Lord. There is also a Patita Pavana Jagannath in Singhadwar, Lion Gate, the main gate, that if you cannot devotees who have fair complexion and they're Hindus, they also will be stopped. But then there'll be the Jagannath, Patita Pavana Jagannath. I saw it also because we were there last year. So yeah, at the time of Ratha Yatra, that's the time also Lord Jagannath will come out. Because it's written in they have a sastra saying that one day Lord Jagannath will come out and go with his devotee. So they're afraid because it says that a devotee from a foreign land will come and he will go out with him because of his intense love. But that happened already because Srila Prabhupada brought Lord Jagannath all over the world. Do you think that the Lord Jagannath in Ratha Yatra in Baltimore this weekend is different than the Jagannath in Puri?
No.
Of course not. If you have a small Jagannath at home, is that different than the big Jagannath in Puri? No. It only depends on your bhakti. Prabhupada says, if you treat the deities of the Lord as made of stone or metal, a statue, just for a decoration, then the Lord will also treat you the same way. So if you have deities at home, love them more than your children. You love your children, right? But the love should be greater because He is God and everyone should love Him the same way. So, yes, an Akshaya Tritiya they will make, and I saw it's big. Unlike here, of course, we have to be practical. We cannot build that every year here in the West. So we have this Abhay Prabhu from Montreal, our God brother also. He somehow is a good engineer to have that cart to travel from East Coast to West Coast, all over practically, that he can set it up in a few minutes and dismantle it in a few minutes. So it says also that some of this, the chariot after that, because in Jagannath Puri, they use wood in cooking. So there's so much wood needed all year long that be used for cooking for Lord Jagannath. Recycling. They're the original source of recycling things. So, 4 weeks, carpenters and craftsmen had been working at work, building the festival's 3 colossal wooden carts and decorating them with brightly colored canopies, with silk banners and flags, with mirrors, pictures, gongs, bells, chamaras, whisk, and flower garlands. How many of you been there during Ratha Yatra time? They have this gong, and they're all doing it the same, in unison. No one missed a bit. Like everyone is doing like that. I remember seeing during the pandemic. Not many were there. Only few. And then after the year after that, only few also. You need to have a ticket or something. And if they saw you during pandemic time, they saw you even watching from a hotel, because there's a series of hotels there. From the balcony, if they see you watching, you'll get penalized, you get fined. But now back to normal. Everyone can come for that day. Hundreds and thousands of buildings. Subhadra. Have you seen that? Because now it's live telecast today. They will bring, I believe they will bring, because this is how it works. The first chariot is Lord Balaram, the elder brother. And then Subhadra, and then Lord Jagannath. And when they bring the Lord, they will be also dancing. The Lord is like dancing. To give darshan, the first darshan, they will swing. There's a certain rhythm. It's not like, okay, hey, be careful. When we carry Lord Jagannath. But now they're trying to copy that also. I've seen in some temples, they will also do like this. And India, at least I've seen it. I don't know. Do you do that here also? No? You don't say, hey, Prabhu, be careful. No. Slowly. I've seen in India, devotees are kind of like following in the footsteps of the Brahmanas. In those days, the Sabaras, the low class, they have everyone as a part to play in serving Lord Jagannath, because he's Patita Pavana, which means even the lowest of the lowest, the pig eaters, Sabaras, they have a role to play in serving the Lord. And even the king. The entire town of Puri, residents and guests alike, joyously prepared and served and glorified the deities, incarnations of the Lord, during the Jagannath Ratha Yatra parade. So Maharaj Prataparudra, I'm reading here. The king of Jagannath Puri was up early too, his mind occupied with the coming events. Now, there's still a king of Puri, but he does not have that power because the monarchy has been removed in India. No more Raja here, Raja there. Like in Jaipur, Rajasthan, the kings before they're there. At least 500 years ago. Maybe 200, even 200 years ago, maybe it's still there. Yes? Mm-hmm. The king took a personal interest in the Jagannath temple and in all the details of this annual celebration. The sheltering and feeding of the pilgrim throngs reflected upon him and was his pleasure. Friends and subordinate rulers attended as his guests, not to mention his own queens, children, and retinue. Everyone. The regular duties of administering a sprawling kingdom up and down the coast of the Bay of Bengal pressed upon him as well. He's the most responsible. But most of all, for the first time, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be attending Ratha Yatra. So this is the first time when he came. Like we mentioned earlier, when he first came. And Maharaj Prataparudra had promised of a private audience with the Lord. Along with his festival functions, King Prataparudra could think of little else. When Lord Chaitanya and his party arrived at the Jagannath temple, the king and his entourage were waiting to let him through the crowds and give him an honored vantage point to watch Lord Jagannath emerge from the temple. To the tumultuous sounds of various musical instruments, devotees especially chosen for their strength carried the heavy deities of Jagannath, Baladeva, and Subhadra from the temple to their festival chariots. Now, these chariots also have like horses in the front. It's like really like riding in a chariot. We don't have that here, no? And it's like there's also like someone who's like driving the chariots, the horses. Before crowds of his subjects and visitors, King Prataparudra took the part of a in front of Lord Jagannath as the deity moved toward his chariot. The king also sprinkled the road with sandalwood scented water. Here we don't use golden. In America, we don't use golden. We paint the broom gold. So you look like golden. At least the spirit of, having golden. Otherwise, you will not see that. Someone will take it away and run away with it. Seeing this humble public and everyone's, even here, everyone was trying to, no, it should be whoever is the most senior should start doing that. Huh? The king also sprinkled the road with sandalwood scented water. Now we use rose water, not sandalwood scented. Seeing this humble public example set by King Prataparudra, Lord Chaitanya became very happy. A king and a street sweeper may be at opposite ends of the social spectrum, but in a society dedicated to the service of Lord Jagannath, everyone equally becomes a menial servant of the deity. We are kings or sweepers temporarily. Our permanent and exalted position is as humble servants of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya himself had made it clear that he wished most of all to be a servant of a servant of a servant, of servants of Krishna, to serve Krishna, holding all other servants as superiors. This should be our mood also. Krishna can see everyone who's serving him dearly and sincerely. It doesn't matter whatever background we came from. I'm not from India. You're all from India. So how is it that I'm here? Didn't you ever question that? Because bhakti is for everyone, especially Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's program, Sankirtan mission. Whoever is the most qualified, he is the most qualified. If he wished to serve the Lord without any condition, like here, the king became the sweeper. But this is temporary. The position is temporary. What is eternal is our service to the Supreme Lord. So we should aspire for that. Our life is very short. We don't have much time. Lucky if we live for 100 years, or 90 years, or 80 years. Is it guaranteed? Maybe some of you, yes. You're in your 70s now. More likely. How about these generations here? Is it guaranteed they're going to live for 70 years? Maybe not. The way it is right now, unless you choose what you eat and your lifestyle, they're not going to live for 60, 70 years old. But it doesn't matter how much you live, as long as whatever remaining of our life is going to be fully dedicated to serve the servants of the servants of the servants of the servant of the Supreme Lord. We may not be so close to serve the Lord. Some of you are pujaris. Some of you are brahmanas. So you must take advantage of serve the Lord personally. What is the use of being brahmanas? Being brahmana means you can get closer to Krishna and to the spiritual master. Because when you're given the Brahman mantra, the Brahman Diksha, the mantras, isn't it? You're so close. Huh? First initiation means they give you the mantra, they give you the Japamala, and maybe you may not be able to get closer. You have to go through many channels. But after being Brahmana, you become so close. And when we do we're serving the Lord. And we should always see that everyone is, a humble devotee, he sees everyone else besides him as superior. Was that when there's a story of Arjuna and Lord Krishna? Oh no, Duryodhana. No, Duryodhana. Find out who is more humbler, who is more humble than you. And when they come back, both have different reply. When Duryodhana came back, he says, I don't see anyone more humble than me. And then Arjuna says, I've seen everyone is superior to me. It's the opposite. In bhakti, this is the first quality that we have to develop, humility. We will not be able to make advancement if there is no humility. Even to be proud of our service. It's like, oh, I'm doing good, but I'm not going to teach you how to do it. I know how to dress the deities very nicely. And then some devotees will say, hey, you're doing nicely. Can you show me? No. Just like when Mother Yamuna was taught by Srila Prabhupada how to cook. She's the first one to learn how to cook. Paka. Srila Prabhupada says, I'm teaching you also to teach others also. Because if you're not going to teach others what you've learned, you will become envious. And this is the opposite of humility, being envious. So that is the material platform. So to serve the servant of the servant of the servants of the Supreme Lord, that is real service. So, in the 2 years since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had first passed through Puri on his way to southern India, King Prataparudra had aspired to meet the Lord and had steadily served Lord Chaitanya's followers. The king had released Ramananda Roy from government duties and provided him with a generous stipend for Lord Chaitanya's service. Ramananda Roy is an incarnation of 3 Arjuna. You know there are 3 Arjunas? One is the cowherd boy Arjuna. One is the Pandava Arjuna. And the third, Arjuna Gopi. And Ramananda Roy, some says he is Visakha. And some says he is Lalita. So Ramananda Roy is these 5 personalities. when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Ramananda Roy, because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you should meet Ramananda Roy. He will further explain to you the intricacies of rasa, that loving relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling. They met each other in Vijayanagar, at the bank of Godavari. And when they met each other and their eyes contact with each other, they understood that they've been like long lost friend meeting for a long, long time. And Ramananda Roy, being the governor, is a very high position in South India. He was also surrounded by Brahmanas and his servants. They embraced each other, the Lord and Sarvabhauma, Ramananda Roy. But they controlled themselves and they said, we will meet again later on. For so many months or days, days, they talk about, Ramananda Samvad. That is part of the Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. You should read that because it's very important to understand that special meeting of Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy. And one always our Guru Maharaj will often quote, what is the best education? The best education is a knowledge about Radha and Krishna. What is the best song? The best song is about Radha and Krishna. What is the most painful? Remember that? Guru Maharaj will always mention this. What is the most painful in this world? And everything except the separation between the devotees and the Supreme Lord, or amongst devotees. You not be able to maintain oneself. The one who is in love of Krishna feels always separated. He never says, oh, I really found Krishna. Like the six Goswamis are always looking. Where are you? Are you in the Govardhan Hill? Are you in the groves of Vrindavan? He says, they're always looking for Radha and Krishna. One who says, I already attained Krishna. No, pure devotees never say that. They're always hankering for Krishna, as if they don't have Krishna. So Ramananda Roy is like that. He attained so much exalted personality, but he considered himself as like a Sudra. Categorically, he is like a Sudra, but spiritually, he is topmost devotee. So there are two things, rasa and tattva. Tattva means possession, and rasa means mellow or relationship. This is the closest meaning of rasa, according to Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. In tattva, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in rasa, he becomes subjugated. Seems to become inferior from his devotee. That even his coward boyfriends will go right on the Lord's shoulder. If we tell that to others, do you know that you can ride on God's shoulder? They will laugh at us, right? No, God is the greatest. You cannot do that. It's not possible. God carries the slippers of his Father. No, that's not possible. How can God do that? So rasa is more important than tattva when it comes to Krishna's interacting with his devotees. The devotees in Vrindavan, they don't care whether Krishna is God or not. It doesn't matter. But sometimes when the Brajabasis will talk to each other, well, maybe he's a demigod. No, maybe he's Narayan. No, it doesn't matter. Whoever he is, we just want to love him more and more. So that is rasa. And in this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also deals with his associates in such a way that even though he is God, he will ask the questions. Same thing with that Harinam Chintamani. He would ask Haridas Thakur, who belonged to a Muslim family, and he would ask because he proclaimed Haridas Thakur because he was continuously chanting 24 hours the holy name. He declared that he is the Nama Acharya. So that in that book of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it is not a fiction. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had envisioned that this happened. So he wrote the book, Harinam Chintamani, the glories of the holy name. It's not the same with Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna has concluded that you are the Supreme Lord. And Lord Krishna admitted that he is the Supreme Lord. But in terms of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, he will only show that he is God to specific personalities like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He showed him his Sadbhuj form, and also to Ramananda Roy, that is none other than Radha and Krishna. And he was asking questions to Ramananda Roy. I said, yeah, the main hero of that meeting is Ramananda Roy. So this is what the Lord would like to do to his associates, to make them great. Similarly, it's the same thing. A father would like to see his children great, better than him. And the spiritual master also would like to have his disciples to be better than him. But we will not be better than him. But this is the mood of those who are pure devotees. They see everyone as pure devotees except themselves, even though they're in the highest platform. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like this in that meeting with Ramananda Roy. And with the same with Maharaj Prataparudra. It was only Maharaj Prataparudra at the time of Ratha Yatra. He witnessed that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was present in the 3 kirtan groups. How is that? He's the only one, no one else. No one else saw this. So he gave special blessings and mercy to Maharaj Prataparudra's humility, because he was the king, and at the same time, he was the first one to sweep. And it's not artificially that, hey, see, I'm sweeping the floor. And Ratha Yatra, I'm sorry to say, this is the mood also. Hey, you see me, I'm sweeping the floor, but after that, he doesn't want to do any service. You ask him to do, hey, Prabhu, can you serve some prasad? No, that's not for me. I don't do that. No, a servant is always a servant, not only temporary servant, not only to show that I'm a good servant. A servant, even if no one sees him, even if no one is really noticing him, he will do the service. That is the servant. It is not that, oh, hey, didn't you see I'm doing service, Prabhuji? No, of course, he's not saying that, but he's showing in his mind. No, a devotee of the Lord, if no one is around, he will do the service wholeheartedly. If he sees that something needs to be picked up, Oh, that's not my service. Let somebody pick it up. You know, he will pick it up. Throw it in the garbage. I've seen devotees like that, you know. I'm just watching whether this devotee will pick up the garbage or not. No. And that is in the temple. So, Hare Krishna. Now Maharaj Prataparudra had eagerly rendered menial service to Lord Jagannath as a humble servant both of Krishna and of Lord Chaitanya's followers. King Prataparudra greatly satisfied Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the universal guru, and became a sure candidate for Lord Chaitanya's mercy. While the Lord continued to outwardly regard King Prataparudra as a sensual materialist and to avoid him, he prepared to bless the king during the Ratha Yatra parade. This is now the reciprocation, because he saw the genuine humility and the service attitude of the king, even though seemingly he's in the topmost, but he put himself, everyone, especially, there was this story of a village man. So he saw the tax collector to collect the tax. And then he asked, who do you work for? He's the governor. So he went to see the governor to find out. And then he asked the governor, who do you work for? And when the Brahmana came, the priest came, and he saw the governor bow down to the priest and the Brahmana. Said, he must be the topmost person. I want to be like him. Because when he saw the taxpayer, everyone's giving the money. I want to be like him. And then when he asked the taxpayer, who do you work for? Then the money goes to the governor. And then when he saw the governor bowing down to the Brahmana, he says, hey, I want to be like him. And then he says, are you the supreme? Because how come the governor bowed down to you? Are you the topmost? He says, no. I'll show you who is the topmost. So the Brahmana priest went to the temple and he bowed down to the deity. He bowed down to the deity. And he showed who is the topmost. The deity is the topmost. So he told to the Brahmana, I want to be like you. I want to be like you. And okay, you come back tomorrow. So he waited outside. The temple closed. And because nighttime is a little chilly, that the Lord himself, with his piece of cloth, he went and put the cloth to cover that village man. He doesn't want him to get sick. So now it's daylight time. And when they came to the temple, they noticed that this village man is wearing the chadar. So they thought he's a thief. He's a thief. And they're ready to beat him up. He says, no. I'm not a thief. I was here. The doors are closed. And how can he get in? So they figure out actually that the Lord came out to cover, to give the blanket, the chadar to the village men. And then finally, his wish became true. He became the main pujari of the deity. So if we want to be really great, we should be servant of the Supreme Lord, the servant of the greatest. And to serve the greatest, we should serve everyone, not just the Lord. Neophyte, they only see the Lord and themselves. This is the sign of a neophyte. He doesn't see anyone. Even in the Nectar of Devotion, it says if the pujari is doing arti and someone come to have darshan, a very important person, it says that the pujari may stop the puja and welcome the guest. That is very high. And the Lord will not mind. The Lord will not mind. So how this King Prataparudra is like that? He seems to be like a sensual materialist, huh? But he's not. Outwardly, he was regarding King Prataparudra as a sensual materialist, but to avoid him. But then he prepared to bless the Lord. So there are more of this. I'm not be able to read all of them. I'm just telling you part of the meeting between King Prataparudra, but we mentioned the main topic, the main subject. Do you have any question or comment?
Enlightening us with the nice details of the Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So can you present, sorry if I don't say the name of the
King Prataparudra.
King Prataparudra. You said he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the three bhajan.
Yeah, three kirtans.
Yeah, what were those three actually?
You see, the kirtan is like compared to a rasa dance. When you do Sankirtan, it's like being in the rasa dance. It's like when Lord Chaitanya or Lord Krishna was in the rasa dance, he was like present in each and every gopi or in between each gopi. Everyone sees only one Krishna, but actually he's in all. He says that it is compared to a fire. You have a band of fire. If you go like this, and you go like this fast, you will only see one circle, ring of fire, right? There's like everywhere. It becomes like one. But you're doing like this, it becomes one. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy showed the mercy to King Prataparudra that he's the only one who can see that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is present in everyone. Everyone's here. So that means he's going really fast. I mean, it is not that he expanded himself. That's him. It's only one. Because when Prataparudra went to the other one, he's there. Went to the other one, he's there.
He was going to each of the Sankirtan party of
Yes.
Jagannath Baladev.
And all the Kirtan party, they're thinking that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is only in that party.
Just like the gopis thought.
Yes. It is not going to be understood by those who are not having faith in the Shastra, because our Praman is the Shastra. And the Acharyas make us see it more deeper because they can see more within the surface. Like the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, you have to be fully realized to see what's going on, to explain. And the Acharyas, they see beneath what's going on. So better you don't listen to those who are mental speculators. And there are more mental speculators than those who are authorized, because that is the nature of the material world. There are more hypocrites, there are more pretenders than genuine. There are more copycats. There are more fakes. There are more A1 plus. A1. Now, you know, in China, they're making like bags. I've read it recently. That even, you know, the most expert, you cannot tell the difference. But there is real genuine. The person who knows, immediately, you know, they smell it, you know, they look, you know, and they know how to do it. So we should be that kind of person who knows the real. And if your intention, you're sincere to find out who is God, who is Krishna, Krishna will send us, his pure representative, to find out more about Krishna. As Prabhupada says, many cannot afford real diamond, so they're happy with broken glass. If you want real diamond, you have to pay for it. Ready to pay for it. And what is that? You must be greedy to attain it. That Prabhupada says, he quotes, and if it's available in the market, you should be ready to pay any price. And what is the price? Again, lobha, greed. You must be greedy to serve the Vaishnavas. You must be greedy to have association with the Vaishnavas. You must be ready to do any service allocated or given to you. Not just, oh Prabhuji, I have something else to do, I'm sorry. I'm busy. No, some other time. We're busy in many things except bhakti. And this is the story in the material world. It's the same thing. The Emirates, they're all busy. Oof. More busier than you. If you're busy here,